Hey, what's going on, guys? Right on my screen right now, you're seeing the Spec Ops Survival Mode trailer being looped for you, and that is for the Spec Ops Survival Mode. Now, there's an overall Spec Ops mode, and it does include two separate modes. So, again, like I just said, there's a survival mode right here, and then there's an actual kind of like mode with operations and different kind of missions that you go on to, and that mode is an extension of the campaign. So, in Modern Warfare, we have campaign, multiplayer, and Spec Ops. You can play multiplayer, you can play the campaign, but when you play the campaign and finish it up, well, you can play it regardless, but you then have Spec Ops to continue that story. So when you play campaign, you find out what happens at the very end or whatever. You can then continue where you pretty much left off in Spec Ops and continue to play and have fun in Spec Ops with those missions / operations, whatever you want to call them. And you also have Spec Ops Survival. Again, that's what you're seeing on your screen right here. If you were going to make a mode that isn't zombies, but most similar to zombies, that has the multiplayer assets and stuff like that, this is pretty much the closest you're going to get, and that is Spec Ops Survival, okay? And by the way, just a word of caution, this is exclusive to PS4 for one whole year. Not the whole Spec Ops mode, just Survival. That is exclusive to PS4 for one whole year, which I think is dumb. But that's just how it is. That being said, I'm going to talk to you about some more details about Spec Ops overall as we're watching this trailer over and over and over again, okay? So, let's go ahead and just read through a blog post that Activision actually put up. This is from a little bit ago, so you may have heard some of the details or even all of them. There's a chance, but this... Okay, so there you go. It's exclusive until 2020. Just wanted to throw that in there. But you may have heard some of the information that I just said. All of it or some of it. Regardless, we're going to still go through it. So, one of the first things they mention up here is the threat to the world doesn't end as the sun sets on Modern Warfare's campaign. That's a very important line because I'm sorry, it's probably very loud. As I just told you, the campaign is cool and all, but Spec Ops is an extension onto the campaign story. Obviously, really, really awesome. And there's even supposed to be Spec Ops DLCs throughout 2020, to my understanding. So that'll continue the story even further and continue everything even further, which is also really awesome. Let's go ahead and move through this a little bit. Okay, available on all platforms when Modern Warfare launches on October 25th. One of the series' most beloved game modes is back, and of course that's Spec Ops. Reimagined as a collection of reimagined as a collection of expansive, interconnected operations against a new and encroaching threat. I've never heard of that word in my life. Players will assemble into strike teams of 4 to execute multi-phased objectives, which together will advance the overarching story of Modern Warfare. So right there, they're saying that Spec Ops launches, of course, with the full game on the 25th, and it's an extension of the campaign. There's going to be different operations, and it's going to all be a part of the same game mode, or all be a part of the same game. That's what it's going to feel like. It's not going to feel like 3 separate game modes. They're all going to feel interconnected, which is really, really awesome, okay? Then they go on to say, here's what's coming to Spec Ops, or Special Ops. They keep saying Special Ops, but everyone calls it Spec Ops, so that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, mode overview. All new operations built for cooperative play. Now, I'm not sure if this is definitely a 4-player game, like if you can play it solo. I hope you can, but hopefully, worst case scenario, it throws in bots. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. They say within Modern Warfare, Special Ops are multiple dynamic experiences that take place on a wide variety of maps. So right there's more than one map that you play Spec Ops on because there's multiple operations and stuff like that. But they go on to say the largest and most involved multi-stage experiences unfold across a sprawling urban environment around the city of Verdansk. I probably butchered that name, but okay. These 4-player match-made activities are known as operations, okay? So they say they are 4-player match-made activities. So that's interesting. I hope you don't have to have actually 4 players in your game, or again, just 4 random people, 3 other random people. We'll have to wait and see. But they're going to say most of the killstreaks you know from multiplayer modes such as airstrikes and UAVs will be accessible in Spec Ops. In addition, a number of vehicles including tanks, helicopters, and ATVs give your squad the opportunity to tackle any operation at hand in a variety of ways. Want to go in quietly or guns blazing? Want to go in quietly or guns blazing? ? Whatever you may choose, the situation is always fluid, as enemy forces will react to your choices in an attempt to foil your plans. So, basically what they're saying here, as they pretty much stated in the previous line, that the gameplay is dynamic. You can pick pretty much however you want to play. You can go in, rush the hell out of everything, or you can sit back and play more tactical. That's up to you. You have the choice. Where was I? Okay. Enemies force will, and the enemies will react based off of what you do. They may deploy more soldiers via helicopters, or even bring in a juggernaut or two to wipe out your armistice fire team, which is cool. Okay. Next, we have work together with your team. Be prepared to revive squad mates if necessary, and execute the task at hand best you can. And again, going back to the idea of zombies, there's also reviving in this game. I know that's a feature in a lot of games, but I'm just saying, like, there's a survival mode. You can revive people in it. Hordes of stuff come at you. It may not be zombies. There may not be Easter eggs, at least as far as I know right now. But if you want to just kill hordes of crap, it's similar to an extent. Again, that's only the survival mode. I'm not saying that it's zombies to a T. I'm not saying that it's gonna feel like zombies, but it is somewhat similar to zombies. It's not completely far out there different. Okay. Next, a number of ways to play. Locate your intel, neutralize your targets, and acquire ongoing rewards that come with accomplishing operations and missions. Operations. So this is the definition of operations, apparently. As you infill into one of the many war-torn zones with special ops, you and your team have full latitude on how to accomplish your operations. The special ops game mode is a 4-player match-made activity centered around the interconnected experiences that take the form of objectives, each culminating in the removal or destruction of key logistical aspect of the I don't think I can say that. I don't know what that is. Something army. But this is a very interesting line right here. This special ops game mode is a 4-player match-made activity. So I'm still a little bit confused myself about this. Is this an online game mode? Like, do you actually get to play with other random people, or like could you just bring a squad and play with 4? I'm sure you can probably play with your own squad, but I don't. Why is it online? Like, what? Like, are you forced to play with 3 other people? That's my question. Do you have to? Because I don't know. I don't like talking to people. That's all I'm worried about. But regardless, okay, let's move on. Employ different strategies. Go in quietly or tackle I thought it said tactical. Go in quietly or tackle the insurrection head on. Okay? The enemy reacts to your team's decisions, meaning the outcome of any battle can change, which is obviously very, very good. Excuse me. Jeez. As I said before, and as they said before, you can choose to play Spec Ops whatever way you want. There's no definite way to play. You just do what you want to do in order to achieve the end goal, in order to complete the objective, and then the game will react appropriately. What else do we have? At launch, you will embark on 4 multi-stage operations with more scheduled to come throughout the post-launch seasons. As I said, there's going to be DLC Spec Ops modes, or Spec Ops missions. All post-launch operations will be coming to all platforms simultaneously, and I believe this is why they actually did the 1-year exclusivity for the Spec Ops Survival mode. I've heard that it wasn't even actually supposed to be in the game. I don't know how true this is, that it wasn't even actually supposed to be a part of the game or they just made it because they had to throw in something for the exclusivity. I don't believe that's true. I believe survival mode was always supposed to be a part of the game, but I think what changed last second is the exclusivity. I think originally what was supposed to be the deal is that the exclusivity was 1 week on PS4, and then PC and Xbox would get everything else. But I think this game mode, the survival mode, is exclusive to PS4 for 1 year. This way, all 3 platforms get all the operations and get all the maps and stuff at the same exact time. This way, it's not too much. Sorry, I'm mumbling a lot here. I'm jumbling my stuff up here. But this way, there's not too much of a disconnect between different consoles and stuff like that. So let me make that a little bit more clear. All 3 consoles will get the content at the same exact time. All the DLC will be released at the same exact time, regardless of your console. Spec Ops Survival is a 1-year exclusive on PS4, though, and that will remain like that until 2020. And that's pretty much how that is. Hopefully that made sense. I'm sorry I rambled a little bit too much and jumbled stuff up a little bit too much, but that happens with myself. Anyways, we have missions. Complementing the multi-stage operations and also available across all platforms are additional missions, which can be played solo. Okay, so this is good. Solo or with up to 4 players. I actually like that a lot. I love the sound of that. So operations have to be 4-player. If you don't have 4 players, they're match made. They fill in the other 3. That's what it sounds like. And then missions you can do solo or with up to 4 people. That's what it said. That's what they just said right here. Whereas operations give you the widest breadth of strategic and tactical choice. Missions are a more curated experience where your proficiency with specific weapons, kill streaks, and other tools will be tested. So, okay, let me just finish reading this. These missions are extremely replayable, and you'll be able to achieve a 1, 2, or 3-star ranking based on your performance. Naturally, there will be an infinity reward time that you can attempt to beat. So this sounds really cool. Missions will always, from the sound of things, be exactly the same. Like, each mission will be exactly the same. There's only one way to complete each mission every single time. Just as there's... Okay, I'm going to go back to zombies, even though this isn't survival. I'm going to go back to thinking of this as zombies, right? You have an Easter egg in zombies, and every single time you do the Easter egg in zombies, it is exactly the same. But you can go back every single time and try to do it quicker and quicker and quicker. And they even say that there will be an infinity reward time to beat, or some kind of special crazy time and challenge for the community. Now, I don't know how, challenging or how competitive it's going to get, but I like the sound of that. I like the direction they're going in with that, because you have the operations that you can do, then you have missions on top of that, and then you have competition within the missions themselves, and hopefully that means leaderboards of some kind as well with Spec Ops. Which sounds really, really cool. I don't know how they'll really be replayable if you don't want to speedrun them or whatever, but we'll have to wait and see. They go on to say all operations and missions content in Special Ops will be available, they'll say it again, across all platforms at launch and through the post-launch seasons. Okay. Motocross progression rewards, and this is fantastic, okay? As you complete any of the Special Ops content, expect to receive impressive rewards for your combat expertise. Examples include additional unlockable items and equipment that can be utilized in both multiplayer and Special Ops modes, which is frigging awesome. All three game modes are pretty much connected, or all three game modes are connected, not pretty much connected. They are connected in a sense, whether it's through gameplay, story, whatever, they're all connected. Okay, so we still have a few more things to go through. Operations prep. Ready up, soldier. Operations carry over all the operators, loadouts, and progress made in multiplayer. Okay, so that's actually really, really cool. Let me read that again. Operations carry over all operators, loadouts, and progress made in multiplayer. And if we went back up here, the operations were the thing that were match made, and they were 4 players. So just remember that the operations ones are the things that are dynamic. You can choose how to play and stuff like that, and the computer basically figures out how to respond based on how you play your game. And again, that's a 4-player game mode. If you don't have 4 people, then it automatically fills in 3 other people randomly. But let's go back to where this was. Okay. You have access to your own preferred arsenal to carry out any and all operations in whatever way you and your squad chooses. Bring your favorite equipment as well as your specific operator into the fray. Okay? I believe operators in Modern Warfare are similar to specialists. Like they're nowhere near, the OP level of specialists. Excuse me. But they're still very, very cool abilities. They're more so abilities than actual special. They're not weapons. They're more so abilities. And yeah, that's kind of how that's going to go down. Next, they say an uneasy alliance, the Armistice Fire Team. As these operations involve a temporary alliance between the coalition and the allegiance forces, you're free to pick any operator you wish. All differences are set aside for now. Okay, that's cool. Cross-mode loadouts. Next, you can bring your preferred loadouts, including your preferred primary and secondary weapons, perks, and tactical and lethal equipment so you're comfortable in this new combat zone. Get a favorite sniper rifle or shotgun that you've meticulously crafted and tailored for your playstyle. Bring it along. Or, yeah, that was supposed to be a question. I didn't say that as a question. But basically what they're saying here is that, again, all the game modes are connected, whether it's story from campaign to Spec Ops, whether it's gameplay from multiplayer to Spec Ops, all the game modes are connecting, meaning that if you have a favorite weapon that you made in multiplayer, that you crafted in the gunsmith or whatever, somebody just subscribed. Who subscribed? Shout out to you. By the way, if you want to subscribe, go and do that right now. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to miss any Spec Ops stuff, and also make sure you're following on Twitch for the live streams. That was a great transition. Thanks, man. That being said, where was I saying? Okay, so if you make a class or if you make something in the gunsmith that you really love and use all the time in multiplayer, no problem. Bring it right over to Spec Ops. No questions asked, nothing like that. I think that's a really awesome feature. Next, we have the Know Your Roles. Specific to special ops are roles. Prior to dropping into play, you're able to pick up from assault, recon, engineer, demolition, medic, and heavy. Each role comes equipped with a field upgrade and a class-specific perk. Pick the role that best suits and reinforces your style of play. So you have both. Hold on, what was this? What did we have before? We had something. We had operators that I talked about before, so they're kind of like similar to the roles, but roles are just like, I guess, they have more of an impact in your gameplay. So when I think of roles, I think of more so, I keep thinking zombies for some reason. I keep thinking like, World War II zombies, you have a role, you had the different class names and stuff like that, where you can pop your special ability, and for example, maybe some kind of circle would go around you and all the zombies would slow down. Maybe you'd have medic, you'd be able to revive quicker or something like that. I don't remember the exact ability of medic in World War II zombies, but you get what I'm saying. Each kind of class had its own ability, and that's what it's seeming like here. You can pick special classes, and each class has special abilities. If you have weapons that you like from multiplayer, you can use those again in Spec Ops because all the gameplay is interconnected, and this is all sounding really, really cool. But let's get into one of the. We actually still have a little bit more to go through. Not too much more. We're getting to the end here. But next up is Killstreaks. Prior to beginning an operation, you're able to pick 3 types of munitions that offer a similar effect to Killstreaks in multiplayer mode. So apparently these aren't exactly Killstreaks, but they're very similar to them. Those munition boxes aren't part of your equipment, but are rather located in a random location across the map. It's up to you to find and utilize them, whether you've chosen, for example, a precision airstrike or a gunship to aid you. So you basically pick Killstreaks. Apparently they're called they are Killstreaks, but they're called munitions within Spec Ops. I guess that's what they're saying here. And that they're not readily available to you, but if you want to use them, you definitely can. You just have to find them within the map. Okay. Next, Special Ops Survival mode, and this is what you've seen on your screen about 8,000 times replay. Unrelated, let's keep this in mind, unrelated to the Special Ops operations and missions is an additional wave-based horde mode known as Special Ops Survival. This is an exclusive additional cooperative mode for PlayStation 4 Call of Duty Modern Warfare players that pits you and up to 3 of your friends against enemy forces in intense cooperative combat on one of 3 multiplayer maps. Okay, that's cool. In Special Ops Survival, you will fight off waves of increasingly difficult and determined combatants in a variety of experiences. Here we go. Special Ops Survival mode is exclusive to PlayStation 4 until, let's look at the date. Today is October 19th, 2019. This mode is exclusive until October 1st, 2020, which is pretty much a year from now, which literally no one's going to be playing it at that point in time on the other consoles, because the next Call of Duty is going to be pretty much coming out. But with that being said, let's just go and recap. We still have more to go through, but we're going to go through Special Ops Survival one more time. So let's just read through it. It's unrelated to Special Ops, or it's unrelated to the main Special Ops missions, which means it's unrelated to campaign, and it's unrelated to multiplayer. What's that automatically sound like? That sounds like zombies. Again, this isn't zombies on any level, but to an extent, it's very similar to it. I've said this a few times already, and I'm trying to. If you bought this game and you're a Zombies fan, I'm trying to get you semi-excited for it, because maybe it's a new Call of Duty, right? You're just buying it because it's a new Call of Duty. You want something new to play, but you're kind of disappointed that there's no new zombies, although you understand why there's no new zombies, and you think it's a good thing. You still are mad or kind of sad because you don't have a new map to play, right? When a new Call of Duty comes out, and that's fair. So, Special Ops Survival, this is what I'm hoping is going to take its place for myself. But again, okay, so it's unrelated to any of the stuff that we know story-wise within the game. So it's completely separate and exclusive from that. Next, they say that it pits you and up to 3 of your friends. Zombies is either solo or up to 3 of your friends against enemy forces, let's just call those zombies, in intense cooperative combat on one of 3 multiplayer maps. So just pretend like the enemy forces are zombies. They're pretty much just pretend like they're zombies with weapons, and you're playing with your friends on one of 3 multiplayer maps. So say you pick any random multiplayer map in Modern Warfare. You're fighting against waves of freaking people with weapons, back to back with your friends. That's essentially zombies. Again, there's no Easter eggs. There's nothing like that. So it's not zombies at all. There are no zombies. There's not special characters. There's not wonder weapons and stuff like that, at least to my knowledge. But for those of you who just like slaying down zombies, this is going to probably be your preferable mode if you're on PS4 for the time being. At least that's what I'd say. This is what I'm really banking on, like I've said multiple times already, that Spec Ops really hits hard and really is a lot of fun to play, not only with the missions and operations side, but also with the survival side, even though it apparently isn't supposed to be anything too wild right off the get-go, because let's just look at it like this. Zombies in general wasn't supposed to be anything crazy off the get-go. It was actually originally supposed to be cut. So hopefully something like this actually is a lot of fun, even though apparently the full attention isn't on it, and that's a survival extension of Spec Ops. So with that being said, let's move on to one of the final sections. We have two more sections, so one of two. Special Ops Operations, and the name of this is It's All Up to You Now. Finish the mission. Special Ops Operations and missions expand Modern Warfare story, whether you and the squads are seizing I want to say what I think it says, but I'm not going to say it because that's a terrorist group. But Special Ops Operations and missions expand Modern Warfare story, whether you and the squad are seizing, let's say, this organization right here, their assets, tracking down high-value targets, or infiltrating a wide variety of enemy strongholds. These operations will bring the armistice one step closer to making the world a safer place. So, again, it's an expansion of the Modern Warfare's campaign story. You get to play with your friends if you wish, or you can play with 3 other random people. There's operations, there's missions. It's awesome. So, with that in mind, you have your objective. Acquire your intel, acquire your targets, acquire the bragging rights and rewards that come with operations accomplished in Special... As I die. In Special Ops. Assemble your squad and report in on October 25th, or a little bit before. Wink, wink. We'll see you there, soldier. Why am I saying it like that? And this is the final section right here. Launch intel, additional information, and content. Check back at Activision Games blog for more Modern Warfare content. At this point in time, it would be a great time to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, do all that great stuff. This way you don't miss any Spec Ops info, videos, streams, tutorials, anything you're going to need. But they also go on to say, this is important, also be sure to check out Infinity Ward's community blog with even more Modern Warfare content straight from the source, and they're basically just telling you to follow them on social media to keep up to date with the latest news. You can definitely do that, or you can just subscribe to the channel, like I said, and you'll be all caught up to date. And the final thing they leave us off with is pre-orders at participating retailers are available now, or at CallOfDuty.com. With that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this 22-minute and 30-second video. Have an awesome day. Again, like, comment, subscribe. I love you all. Adios.